What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Veve Investments. I appreciate you tuning in. I was kind of thinking to myself, I was like, there's been a lot of videos, focusing on the top 10 grails on the platform. And I came across one of those videos a few weeks back. Another YouTuber in the community, his name's Mark H. Shout out to you. My top 10 grails are pretty much his exact selection. So I'm just going to link his video in the description. But for me to kind of provide a little bit of a twist on a video like this, today's selection is going to be focusing on my top 10 between 100 and 500 gems. I do have an honorable mention section at the end of the video. That's where we're going to discuss any collectibles I didn't talk about on this list within the 100 to 500 gem range. We're also going to have honorable mentions for 500 to 1,000 gems and then 1,000 and beyond. Now, if you guys do happen to really enjoy this video, I did also leave room for me to discuss my top 10 collectibles under 100 gems. Just considering some of the prices on the app right now, I do think there are a lot of good choices within that bracket. So if you guys happen to really like this video, make sure to drop a like down below, subscribe to the channel if you guys want to see more, and comment down below what you want to see in a future episode. As for today's episode, sit back, relax, and enjoy. All right, so the way that I did structure today's video is from most expensive to least expensive. So if you guys do have a particular budget in mind, then you can kind of follow this video accordingly. So the most expensive collectible we're going to talk about on today's list is going to be Superman. So coming in at number 10, it's going to be the first appearance of Superman on the blockchain, one of the most recognizable superheroes of all time. We talk about how Spider-Man is the most popular superhero globally. However, Superman is the most popular superhero in the US. Another thing I find desirable about this piece is the collectible itself is its own full set. There are no multiple variants of Superman. It's a one pose NFT. Now, this piece in particular is going to have 8,888 editions total, and right now you can pick it up on the market for roughly 480 gems. Coming in at number 9, we're going to talk about Steamboat Willie. So this is one of my personal favorites on the app right now. I actually just picked up 5 of these last week, which I'm super happy about. But this is the first iteration of Mickey Mouse introduced to the public back in 1929. Okay, first ever Mickey Mouse we ever saw. Now, a little bit of a tongue twister here, but to this day, the character is still used as Walt Disney Animation's logo animation. When the short film was first released, it was actually the first ever short film with synchronized audio. So in this case, it was the first ever film that had audio matching what the character was actually doing within the film. It's whistling, steering the boat honking, that sort of stuff. Now, this piece has a total of 6,928 editions, and if you're interested in picking up a piece of history here, it's going for roughly 390 gems in the secondary. Coming in at number 8, we're going to have Mickey's Sorcerer hat. So this was the first edition of the hat on the blockchain. For those who don't know, it's worn by Mickey Mouse as Sorcerer's Apprentice in the landmark 1940 animated short Fantasia. So we had the Fantasia series drop on the app already. You're also going to see the hat worn by Mickey, but this was the first edition dropped on the blockchain. And it's gold. Like, why wouldn't you want a gold one? Another thing I like to take into consideration, and I'll note here, is that it's the only other golden moment in the series, other than the partner statue, that is directly connected to Mickey Mouse, okay? And of course, we know the series has come to an end, so this is guaranteed. Now, Mickey's hat is going to have 6,333 editions total, and if you're interested in grabbing this, you can pick it up for roughly 370 gems in the market. Next up, we got Miles Morales. Now, a little bit of a debate from some users in the community as to whether or not this piece is considered a quote-unquote grail. The particular variant you're looking at on screen, I wouldn't consider it a grail. The secret rare, I would, and for 2 main reasons. Scarcity being one, only 250 editions minted, but even less available to the public. It's the first appearance of the character on the blockchain, but the second reason is that this is the iteration of Spider-Man that current generations are growing up with today. So I grew up with Peter Parker, right? But a kid growing up today is not growing up with Peter Parker. He's growing up with Miles Morales. And there was actually a video that surfaced online earlier last year. I doubt I can find it at this point, but it was an adult pretty much going around and asking all the kids in his family, what's your favorite Spider-Man? And all of the kids said Miles Morales. Now, with that being said, the first appearance of Miles Morales in Ultimate Fallout number 4, I believe it is still a chart-topping success, especially in comparison to, modern Marvel comics. Now, I wouldn't go as far as saying Miles Morales is more popular than Peter Parker right now, and that's just because of, the decades that Peter Parker has on Miles Morales. But I would not put it past me to say that Miles Morales can surpass Peter Parker in the future. Now, we talked about the secret rare only having 250 editions. The whole series is very, very scarce. This being the uncommon in the series, it has 1,750 editions, and if you're interested in grabbing it, it's going for roughly 330 gems in the secondary. Next up, we're going to have C-3PO, another personal favorite of mine. So I'm a huge Star Wars fan. I always have been. As a kid, I grew up with hundreds of little, Star Wars toys and collectible figurines. Unfortunately, I didn't keep any of them, which is a regret of mine, but this isn't a piece that I actually have in my collection. Back in the day, I almost grabbed it. I actually ended up going with Elsa instead. But it's going to be the first appearance of C-3PO on the blockchain. It's also going to be the first Star Wars NFT on the blockchain, right? Coupled with the R2-D2 golden moment. He's one of the most famous robots in science fiction, and the character's popularity is also associated with R2-D2. So with that being said, I do believe that this piece is going to be valuable in the future, but obviously much more valuable if you compare it with the R2-D2 golden moment. He's a fan favorite droid from Star Wars. He's got 12,333 editions total, and if you're interested in picking up this piece, it's roughly 260 gems in the secondary market. We were just talking about Elsa, and here she is, number 5. First appearance of her on the blockchain. She is the first Disney Animations branded NFT on the blockchain as well. So for those who don't remember or don't know at all, when Disney Golden Moments first dropped on Veve, they did a full week of Golden Moments drops. This was in celebration for Disney Plus Day. The first Golden Moments series to drop on Veve was The Simpsons. However, it wasn't branded as Disney, it was branded as The Simpsons, right? The second series to drop is what you're looking at on screen, Elsa and Mickey's Sorcerer's Hat. This was the first series to have the Disney Animations logo attached to the NFT. Now, in addition to that, she's the first Disney princess on the blockchain, okay? She's the only Disney princess in the Golden Moment series. Again, guaranteed now, because we know that this series has come to an end. And Elsa, to this day, is still the most popular by quite a bit Disney princess in the Disney franchise. I would also describe her in a similar way to Miles Morales. Elsa is a great example of a Disney princess that current generations are growing up with, whereas, Elsa was not around when I was a kid. She has 12,333 editions, just like C-3PO, and just like C-3PO at 260 gems, you can grab her for the same price. Coming in at number 4 is Iron Man, and again, guys, keeping in mind we're just going cheaper as we go through this list. This is going to be the first appearance of Iron Man on the blockchain, part of the same Golden Moment series as Elsa and C-3PO. Similar to Elsa being the only Disney princess in the Golden Moment series, Iron Man is going to be the only Marvel superhero in the Golden Moment series. Now, according to a study conducted by Morning Consult, Iron Man has 61% of the votes among American adults and 78% among MCU fans. We talk about Spider-Man being the most popular, Wonder Woman being the second most popular. However, Iron Man is actually high up on the list there as well, and that largely has to do with the modern Iron Man films with Robert Downey Jr. But if I think of putting, the most popular Marvel superheroes in a line, Iron Man is probably one of my most favorite as well. So just like the last two, there's 12,333 editions. However, a little cheaper now. If you're interested in grabbing Iron Man, you can grab them for roughly 165 gems in the secondary market. Coming in third place here, and one that many may not expect, that's going to be Ultraman Ace, the rare statue variant in the Series 1 set. So this is going to be a Season 1 collectible, first appearance of Ultraman Ace on the blockchain. For those who don't know, Ultraman actually has the same cultural significance in the East to that of Superman in the West. So Ultraman is a massive character in countries like Japan. I actually even shot a little message over to Hello K when he was in Japan and asked him how often he's seeing Ultraman, and he replied saying it's everywhere. And going all the way back into the 1980s, Ultraman was actually the world's third top-selling licensed character. So this was a piece that was actually largely underestimated prior to the first bull run that we had back in January of 2022. I remember people tweeting this out when the price shot up for this piece. I'm not sure what the floor price of it was, but it shot all the way up to 3,500 gems like within a day and a half or 2 days. Similar to that of the Pili Fantasy set that I talk about, how there's a level of culture shock involved because people like us in the West aren't really familiar with brands like Pili Fantasy or Ultraman too much. Those are both brands that I actually heard of because of Veve, but in my opinion, they are tremendous opportunities to get in on right now prior to Eastern markets coming onto the app. Now, this is actually the first piece I ever purchased on Veve. Okay, there's only 3,500 editions total, and right now you can grab them for roughly 150 gems in the market. Coming in second to last, we got the Joker. So the Joker here is a piece that I think has been brushed under the rug as of lately. It's a piece that's kind of gotten forgotten about. It's a season 1 collectible. It's the first appearance of the Joker on the blockchain. Okay, the Joker, guys, is one of the most popular villains ever. Forget the Batman series alone, ever. And the Joker film is actually the most profitable comic book film of all time. So Batman has his fan base, Harley Quinn has her fan base, Penguin has his fan base, and now we have the Joker. The Joker has a rabid fan base, and with only 7,500 editions available total, this piece actually did just shoot up a little bit in the secondary market. I grabbed one last week at 110. The Joker's now at roughly 140. And last but not least, we've talked about Spider-Man on this list already, but not Peter Parker. So what you're looking at on screen will always be a very iconic NFT in the history books for numerous reasons. So first off, it's the first appearance of the most popular superhero in the world on the blockchain. It's technically the first Disney NFT on the blockchain. And some of you guys are like, what, Disney? This is Marvel. Disney owns Marvel. And when Disney actually originally dropped their Golden Moments series for that first initial week, there was some confusion as to what was the first Disney NFT, and this was confirmed and clarified by the team. The first Disney NFT on the blockchain is what you're looking at on screen. Now, in addition to the first Disney NFT, it's also going to be the first Marvel NFT on the blockchain. Self-explanatory there. And like I mentioned before, he's the most popular superhero in the world, coming in first place in 57 countries. Now, this piece has a lot more editions than anything else we've discussed on the list so far, 32,000 editions. But despite that, this piece is still going for roughly 140 gems in the secondary market. Now, I did mention we're going to round the video off with some honorable mentions. So starting on the left-hand side here, between 100 and 500 gems, so collectibles pertaining to today's list. We also have the Simpsons Homer and Bart Golden Moment statue, the first Golden Moment series to drop on the app. And below it, we also have Penguin, another notorious villain from the Batman series. Fun little fact about that piece, actually, that piece is a misprint and it cannot be fixed. It will stay a misprint. So when more collectors come on this app and start to learn that, I think the piece is only going to become more desirable. The misprint that I'm referring to, by the way, is the piece. The artist is listed as Brian Boland with an N. His real name is Brian Bollard with an R. Now, some honorable mentions between the 500 and 1,000 gem range is going to be R2-D2. So again, trying to pair that C-3PO Golden Moment with this piece. We're also going to have the ultra rare Darth Vader, one of the most notorious villains of all time. And to the right of that, we have Todd's Batman, which is going to be the first ever piece to drop on Veve and is also going to be the first appearance of Batman. And actually, all the pieces that you guys see on screen are first appearances. Moving over to the honorable mentions for pieces that cost more than 1,000 gems, we have Pride number 1. Some people might make the argument that pieces like this are only going to become more devalued as more IP drops on the app. I completely disagree. You guys cannot forget who Givenchy is, and this represents a movement that grows year by year. To the right of Pride 1, we have the Secret Rare Spider-Man. That's pretty self-explanatory there. Below that, we have the Secret Rare Miles Morales, only 250 editions. And to the left of Miles Morales, we have the one and only partner statue, first appearance of Walt and Mickey. Now that's going to conclude today's episode, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. As I did mention at the beginning of the video, I did leave room for another video discussing my top 10 below 100 gems. I think there's a lot of great choices within that bracket and a lot of pieces that we didn't discuss in today's video. So if you guys do want to see that, make sure to drop a like down below, subscribe to the channel if you guys want to see more, and comment down below anything you want to see in the future. That is it for episode 39, and as for episode 40, I'll catch you then.